Looks like he's got the correct lane right now. This now is starting to move off to the westbound direction. We'll give you a street here as soon as I can hear it. And you can see they're still chasing this guy. Mail theft. This guy was apparently stealing mail, that type of envelope mail that you get in the box by your home. Now that's what he was stealing. Apparently they were actually throwing this out the window at some point on the freeway. That's not going to get the officers to stop, even though it looks like he might be trying to return it. They want to stop this guy. That's actually a federal crime. But right now we can tell you the Sheriff's Department, Orange County Sheriff's Department, are the ones pursuing this vehicle. Over the gore point. Ooh. Yep, right over the gore point. Yep. You know, Josh, that was kind of what we were wondering as well. Looks like he worked his way back onto some major roads out here. Went right over the gore point. Amazing that little car can handle that we saw right there. You know, we were thinking the same thing too, but maybe he doesn't even know this area. We can only kind of wonder what this guy is thinking down there. We do see him, though, avoiding a lot of the traffic areas. That is a definite. He wants to keep this pursuit moving, obviously. Doesn't want these officers to catch up with him. So whatever his plan is, it's going to come to an end here shortly. But you know, he has been endangering other people's lives. That was a green light right there, very lucky, but he's still moving along right there. Going to get you a street name, I promise. Working our way back over to, we're working our way back over to the 5 freeway. Just went underneath it, but this pursuit continues out here. Been on a lot of the freeways earlier. 5 freeway was his favorite. Got off, got on over by the Irvine Spectrum Center. Looks like he's on the phone right now. Don't know who he's calling, but you know, maybe that's another for the list of wants for this guy driving while on the phone. You know, we don't want to joke too much about it because the way this guy is driving, somebody could get hurt. Running all these red lights, very dangerous situation. And with all this traffic out here in the Orange County area this afternoon, not a good sign for anybody that's in this area or on these roads near this guy who is being pursued by the Orange County Sheriffs. We're still in Santa Ana. This is memory lane, and he's probably going to remember the times when he was free, when this is over. You know, this is very, very dangerous stuff out here. As he continues, there's another red light, and see, officers couldn't get ahead of him there, and that car is basically a little bit in peril. You know, we don't want to over-dramatize it, but it is very dangerous for the public at large, and sometimes, you know, I get tweets saying, you know, we know, we just stop saying that. But, you know, you cannot bring that home enough that, you know, the public's at danger, and that's one of the reasons why we broadcast these pursuits so much, because if you have a loved one that's in the area, or if this starts going through a neighborhood that you know, you're going to call, you're going to make sure, you're going to get your loved ones, at least give them heads up. Running another red light out here as we're making our way, continuing out here, Santa Ana area, but we were, let me make that pretty clear, we were very close to some major freeways, but we're moving away from them right now. I'm not go through red lights, very dangerous situation for everybody involved. They did a little swap there of vehicles, makes you kind of wonder if maybe they have a plan to bring this to an end a little bit quicker. That one, making a U-turn, tight U-turn,
really
and it does seem like
right there.
That was almost a chance to do that.
It does seem like the other officers. Yeah, it does seem like they're setting that up. And now we're back southbound Brookers. You saw that CHP helicopter along with all the media helicopters up here making this sharp U-turn. You have to understand this is inside the Disney TFR. One of the reasons why we are so high up. TFR stands for Flight Restriction Area. And, you know, this is over Disneyland. They won't allow us to be anything under 3,000 feet. So we're up here in the stratosphere shooting down. But the officers, they, obviously, law enforcement, they can do that, no problem. You can see people in the roadway out there. Very dangerous situation. That's probably a little social media nuttiness out there. Somebody trying to get a picture or something of that pursuit. Dangerous, very dangerous. You know, if that officer from the one that's right behind him there, I'm assuming Stanton PD right now, it would have done a pit that could have been terrible. That would have been like one of the worst things that could happen. These guys, these officers, be them deputies, be them whatever law enforcement, they are all trained for this. They keep their cool. They have to make these split-second decisions. Working way back onto Lincoln. back on the Lincoln from Brookhurst. So we're back on that Lincoln. He seems to really like that. Here we go. That one officer kind of creeping up. We're going to keep an eye on that. If it happens, it would be a relief to see this come to an end. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. But that one officer really starting to show that aggressive stance out there, maybe trying to bring this to an end before that car runs out of gas or hurts somebody.
Stu, and despite jumping all those medians, I haven't seen any damage to the car. Have you?
You know, it's a little statement for Honda, a little Honda Civic. I know I had one of those cars for a while. You know, they're most of these cars are pretty well built, but you know what, that guy, that's the last of his concern. We have seen him in the past get stuck on those mediums, so you know maybe these are a little bit lower than usual. But yeah, driving over those mediums, you don't know. Maybe his wheels are, maybe it's got a little shaky. Maybe he put something out of alignment. But right now, I can tell you that officer really keeping that aggressive stance, but he's keeping his eye open. If there's any people on those sidewalks, he's not going to do it. If there's another car on the roadway, he's not going to do it because he's got to keep the public safe, and he's also got to keep his officers safe. So those things are all going through his mind. Again, we're just kind of assuming. I don't know what their policies are. I've never sat in on one of their briefings, and it would be too complicated for me to even think about that. Look at that. Look at that. He ran a red light, but he had a perfect opening right there. It is amazing luck for this guy.
Let's do it.
This is the third time we've been on Lincoln this afternoon. I'm looking out the window. I was going to say, we got to be getting close to the 5 freeway. There it is. Look at all that traffic.
Wow.
He's going to get kind of
boxed
in there
now. You got trees on one side.
He can't go over the curb because of the trees.
And now the officers are stuck in the back there.
And there we go, getting northbound 5 freeway. The first time we've seen him get back on the 5 freeway. He's going to be getting himself back. Look at that, other cars waiting to get on. This is a controlled intersection, taking that center lane, using that gore point, whatever he can do to keep it going. Getting back on the northbound 5 freeway. It was still going to be, that was off of Brookhurst, so it's Brookhurst and the 5. We just entered the northbound 5 freeway. That Stanton officer, you know, he's really pushing that car of his, getting up there a little bit closer. Probably, again, I can't say for sure, probably won't be able to do that pit maneuver. But look, you can see that helicopter right there passing Euclid, northbound 5. And it looks like traffic very light, northbound 5 freeway. If anybody wants to drive home on the 5 freeway from the Orange County area to L.A., northbound 5 wide open.
We want to remind our viewers they are watching KCAL 9 News at 4. Also, CBS 2 News is joining us. If you're watching us on CBS 2 News, we want to welcome you to our coverage of a pursuit happening right now in the Orange County area. I'm Juan Fernandez, along with Sandra Mitchell, Josh Rubenstein, and Stu Mundell, live in our chopper.
Yeah, you see OC Sheriff's Department getting very close to this silver Honda. They've been in pursuit for more than an hour now. This is 3 suspects inside that car. They are wanted for mail theft in the Laguna Hills area. So again, this started well before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Somebody tipped off the officers. They were in pursuit in the Irvine area through Tustin, Santa Ana, Orange, and Anaheim. Most of this pursuit has been on the surface streets, but they are back on the 5 freeway now and starting to pick up speed, going a lot faster, Stu.
That's right, northbound 5 freeway. This is Orange County Sheriff's Department right there in pursuit of that vehicle. Right behind it, really keeping pace, very close. You know, we've been working our way northbound 5 freeway. We got on at Brookhurst. We're going a little bit faster than freeway speed, so I would be guessing right about the 70-mile-an-hour mark. Not a type of speed that we would see them initiate a pit maneuver. I was doing a little bit of that camera magic. You have to excuse me there. I was just trying to read exactly the agency that's chasing that car. We definitely read Sheriff's Department, Orange County, so that's who's chasing him. California Highway Patrol helicopter above him. This pursuit's continuing now northbound 5 freeway, and this started down in Laguna Hills. So this is quite a distance from where it started. Don't know what the registration is. Sometimes they'll say, oh, you know, the car's registered in Throw-Out City, but they haven't said that on this, so we don't really know. What we do know right now is mail theft. Mail theft. That's what this guy is wanted for. If you're just joining us, this guy apparently was allegedly taking mail from mailboxes, and somebody noticed it, called law enforcement. Law enforcement got behind him, turned on their lights and sirens. This guy didn't stop. At some point along the way, papers were flying out of the vehicle. Officers have just assumed that that was mail, so apparently he was trying to dump some of that evidence. Don't think that's really going to work for this, but this pursuit continues, and this guy has been very lucky, very fortunate. No people have been hurt, no officers, no pedestrians, running several red lights out here. We're working our way northbound on the 5 freeway. We're going to be crossing the 91 here in just a minute, excuse me, and just continuing on here, just a little bit better than freeway speeds, freeway wide open.
Stu, I can't believe he hasn't reached or hit heavier traffic at this time of the evening.
Well, funny enough, it looks like just past Buena Park, he's going to run into some dead stop traffic here on the 5 freeway. Is that what you see right now, Stu? That's what I'm looking at right now.
That is exactly what I'm seeing up there. It almost comes to a complete stop. So he's going to, but he has been doing some very, very dangerous maneuvers in the past. We'll see what he does here as we come up on that stop traffic. He might see it. I don't think, yeah, he's got like one more off ramp that he could probably take, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it right now. Auto Center Drive is what we just passed, so it is coming up. It's going to be, if you drive this area, you know there's construction, winds down to just about 2 lanes, 3 lanes, so it's going to be getting very tight up here. Don't know what he's going to do. In the past, he's been riding the emergency lanes. He's also been riding that center divider. Right now, he's basically one of the middle lanes right there, the number 2 lane. They don't count the carpool lane, so that's going to be the number 2 lane, so it's going to be carpool 1 and 2. That's where he is. Maybe they have a plan. Gosh only knows. But right now, this is still moving along, and here comes the traffic, so we're going to start to see what this guy is going to do here in just a few moments.
And from what I see, guys, it looks like the traffic is all the way from Buena Park where he is right now. It looks like it's jammed all the way through Santa Fe Springs, so back into LA County if he does continue up north. I mean, just this is what we expect in the afternoon in Los Angeles on a Friday afternoon.
During the busy holiday shopping season. Stu Mandell's live overhead. We've been talking about how this pursuit has been going on and on, but it's been very dangerous because he's been driving the wrong way. He's been driving up and over the medians, flew through several red lights, got really close, and now we come up on this very crowded 5 freeway and running into traffic. Looks like he's going to try to eke over there, but really nowhere for him to go, Stu.
It really is nowhere for him to go. He can keep using those, using the right shoulder right there. You can see some other traffic merging on there, so he's going to have a little bit of an issue here in just a few moments. But yeah, you get an idea how stopped that traffic is. You know, it's down to a crawl. Some emergency vehicles there on the side also. So it's going to get very, very tight. He was in this type of situation before we got there. We were just listening in as we were working our way down from the Los Angeles area to join this pursuit. Buena Park, we're kind of leaving the Buena Park area, but northbound 5 freeway, he's got a couple of off ramps coming up here. Don't know if he'll be actually even slowing down slower than the traffic on the road. Looks like he's really thinking about what he can do here,
what to do next.
You know, really thinking or really panicking. You just can't tell. You know, officers, they are starting to put something together. Don't want to give anything away. They are starting to talk about something. They are going to try to be a little bit more proactive and bring this thing to an end. Look at that. But he keeps getting stuck. You know, if these guys would stop, if they hear those lights and sirens and come to a complete stop, this guy's going to get blocked in. But it's continuing now back into number 1 lane. I got to look. I got to kind of look out the window. I'm trying to see. No, we haven't made it to Valley View yet. So I kind of wonder if he's going to try to get off the freeway there. It's going to be really traffical. I mean, really a bad decision if he tries to. Right now, number 1 lane seems to be his bet. And we're just coming up on Valley View right now, so it looks like he's just going to go past it. And this is going to continue on here on this tightly packed 5 freeway. There he goes. It looks like the drivers were pulling off to the side of to the right and letting him pass through, actually. You know, and that's what you're supposed to do when you hear lights and sirens. That was Valley View right there. I was just thinking, just when you say he's not going to do it, there he goes trying it. Maybe he just saw that gore point available to him right there, and he makes that move. Gore point is the description that is for that area that's taped up or painted out, those triangles that separates the roadway from the freeway. This is what we were hearing about earlier on. He was actually above freeway speeds earlier on the emergency lanes. Very dangerous maneuver. Somebody could try to pull over. There could be workers on the side of the road. Very, very dangerous. Is just kind of keeping up 35, 40 miles an hour, but just gives you an idea. Traffic must be going about 20 out here. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely did. And right now, there are no other cars ahead of him. He's basically working himself into an industrial park. If they were going to do a pit maneuver, this might be where they're going to do it. This is a one-way road. You got a T intersection coming up. Here we go. Here we go. And you know, and it, you know, very, very dangerous stuff. You know, very dangerous stuff, and it's also, you know, they have to be right at the right speeds. You got to be right at the right spot, and here we go again, and you know, we might not be able to really pick it up because of our angle, but that car may be speeding up. Might see him in the rearview mirror. Now we're starting to get. We're back on. We've made a left turn onto Spring Avenue, as I understand it. But getting more into traffic. You got pedestrians on bicycles out here, and now we're starting to get more into traffic. So this is going to be more of a dangerous spot for them to try that type of maneuver. He's going to continue on out here. You know, this is on Thomas. They just made a turn onto Thomas, and westbound on Thomas. This area, I'm looking out the window. It is a very industrial area. There are people leaving work right now. You can see there's kind of windy roads, but it takes us out onto a major road. You know, I don't know if this guy has any idea where he's going. I don't see anything that's going to block him in. But these officers, you know, they are trying. You're seeing him now. He's making that move again. And perhaps he's, you know, they're getting word, hey, if you're going to do it now. And he's backing off again. There we go. Oh! Yeah, this guy just... We're all sitting here with bated breath, and we're watching as he gets closer. And you know, maybe that deputy's looking inside the car, seeing something he doesn't like. Maybe he's looking up ahead and just kind of judging it, saying, you know, this is not the spot. I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. I don't want this car spinning off into a parked car. But now that suspect actually cutting off that deputy, working our way to another major intersection out here. You know, this is just getting. It is unusual to see that Shoemaker. Westbound on Rosecrans. Whoa! Just missed him. We're on Rosecrans, just past Shoemaker, and on the wrong side of the road right now. And this continues. And he had a chance to get back on the right side, didn't. Wrong way driver situation. Very dangerous for anybody that's coming the other way, obviously. And this guy he does have opportunities, but let's get a little bit wider. Show you why he's not. You got all that traffic right there, working his way through one of those big cross intersections. And that's the 5 freeway again, Rosecrans 5. Don't think there's an on-ramp here at this time, but definitely working his way through this area and just keeps on moving. This pursuit just keeps on going. That one deputy, he can probably taste it. He wants to just bump that and just spin this guy around. He keeps making that move, but that opportunity, it's got to be perfect. Otherwise, he's not going to do it, especially if somebody could get hurt. We are in Norwalk right now. That is correct. And continuing here on Rosecrans. And Norwalk Boulevard is up ahead. Stale red. That's going to be some traffic. So we're going to see what's going on. You know, other vehicles slowing down. It looks like he's going to do his old trick where he drives onto oncoming traffic. There's some big trees right there. But it does seem like the road is open. Other cars are pulling over. I just saw somebody there underneath the tree. Wrong side of the road, approaching Norwalk. You can see other officers out there blocking the traffic. We're on Rosecrans, just past Norwalk, in the city of Norwalk, and here comes that one deputy again, trying to work that position, trying to get that one spot. But we continue to move out here, this pursuit just continues. Oh, look at that officer. Whoa, just went right around there. Bread and butter, brother. You know, just keeps this thing moving and moving and moving.
Yeah, Stu, it seems like a sense of urgency right now, right? Because he's been driving on the other side of the road. That makes it so much more dangerous for the other people who are out there who don't know this guy is headed straight toward them. And CHP looks like getting closer again. There he goes, wrong side of the road.
And what you'll also notice is that at some point in time, you know, as we are in L.A. County, well into L.A. County right now, you've got this one Orange County Sheriff's deputy on, you know, behind the suspect right now, trying to make this pit maneuver several times coming up very close. What we may see is L.A. County Sheriffs stepping in at some point. That's the advantage that police have. And Stu, correct me if I'm wrong, that they freshen those crews up so that you have a fresh set of eyes that know the neighborhood, that know everything going on.
Well, you know, that's right. We just passed Pioneer. You know, these are major intersections. It is getting a lot more crowded out here. We're definitely well established. Sheriff's area for sure. We saw some sheriff's vehicles out there blocking an intersection, so you know they know this is coming, and you know they're going to try to keep the public safe. But you know, it's one of those things. This is just how law enforcement handles this stuff. You heard that lieutenant talking earlier on about their tactics, how they handle things. They would look at that. Well, he is really trying to lose that officer. We're making a turn now. We're getting into a residential neighborhood, Norwalk area. This would be another area where they might do that pit maneuver. Property damage, definitely an idea. But what I was going to say is, you know, they have to say we're handing it off. We're giving it to the sheriff's department. Right now, these guys been following it since the get-go. They don't want to give it up. Working our way through these very tight turns out here. Norwalk's the neighborhood. We'll get you some streets. Definitely, this officer definitely trying to get this guy to stop. We haven't seen contact yet, but I'm sure when it happens, that car is going to spin out. Don't know what's going to happen after that, of course, but this is still continuing to wind around down here. I'm going a little bit wider just because I'm kind of curious where we are. It
looks like they're slowing down a little bit, or again looking for a place to maybe do a foot bail and get out of the car and get away.
Yeah, keep in mind we've got 3 people inside this vehicle, so when it does end, and it eventually will, although it's been going on for almost an hour and a half now, we've got 3 people who are potentially going to try to jump out and run.
You know, and you know, that's all the law enforcement that's in the area. They all know this. They're all hearing the same information. We heard that lieutenant talking about, oh, here we go. We might have so tight. You know, this guy definitely using his rearview mirror, definitely looking at that one officer, probably pretty aware of the tactics that they have out here and what is coming for him. So I'm sure that's one of the reasons why we're keeping up with this type of attitude, where it's getting so close and then that little car speeds up. Obviously, that pursuing officer has a big V8 in that car. That little car's got that little 4-cylinder. But this continuing out here, these deputies want to bring this to an end. It's been going on for quite some time. Nobody's been hurt. It actually almost appears like no other vehicles have been touched. We're getting close to the 105 freeway. That's, you know, it gives you an idea. Laguna Hills, 105 freeway, Norwalk. This has been going for quite some time.
And for officers, Juan Sandra, this is right now, this is where it does get amped up. You've got this one officer who's been trying very hard right now for, I'd say, the past 15 minutes to do that pit maneuver and to get in there and try and put this to an end, and just can't quite do it. So it really takes a lot of control on these pursuing officers, as you see every time coming up right next to it, to really keep it in control.
We're inside of a parking lot.
Yeah, it looks like a grocery store parking lot.
Inside a parking lot, off of Imperial. This is where it's going to get a little bit dangerous. And you can see other officers right there doing a little bit of an aggressive move right there. That was on Imperial. We were westbound on Imperial. He pulled into a parking lot. You saw it right there. You know, that little car maybe a little bit more maneuverable than those big officers' vehicles, but those officers' vehicles definitely have the power of the law. So, you know, that very powerful. There you go. Oh, that officer off the road over there underneath the freeway. That is not good.
That's as close as they got to a pit maneuver, Stu.
And and now we're hearing. We're gonna watch to see what happens. But we're just hearing it right now that they're getting word from their commanders out there. From their commanders, drop out of the pursuit. Drop out of the pursuit. You can see those officers right there slowing down. Whatever law, whoever their boss is basically calling them right now, saying, you know what, this is getting too dangerous. He's driving through those parking lots. He's making these crazy maneuvers. We don't want anybody to get hurt. It's not worth it. So they're basically saying we're just going to follow it. Doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean it's over. The helicopter is not going to disengage. Officers are going to turn off their lights and sirens. They're going to fall behind. So this is kind of like one of these situations where they're just going to keep an eye on this guy for a little while. And, just as soon as they do that, these type of opportunities start appearing. I wonder if they made contact right there. Looks like he kind of pushed him. But the officers, they are still there. They got to be very clear about this. They didn't say discontinue. They didn't say, we're throwing our hands up, or let's just let this crazy guy go. They're saying put some distance between yourself and that vehicle. And this is a tactical move from higher up the food chain. And we all, I'm sure, there might be a couple people out there that are watching that are that high person, but most of us out here are on that lower end of it. So we do what we're told, and somebody's making this decision right now. So we're going to keep following it. We're going to call out some streets here because I'm sure they're going to do it. But this guy not slowing down and actually taking more chances now that these officers are not behind him. Very unusual.
Well, he thinks now probably that he's got an opportunity to get away.
That could be what's going through his mind. We have no idea. Another solid red. You're making another turn out there. Sheriff's Department definitely going to start getting into the mix out here. That helicopter we just saw with that awesome paint job, that's going to be the Sheriff's Department. We definitely are in the Sheriff's Department's area right now. Norwalk, I'm trying to get a street name for you. I'm usually pretty good with this right there, but right now there's so much going on. He's on the wrong side of the road again. The Sheriff's Department may be watching this and saying, you know what, it's too dangerous for the public at large. Earlier on, you had those lights and sirens, so people hear that, they're like, what's going on? And they start slowing down, hitting that brake, looking around. Now that's gone. This guy's driving very reckless, and so other cars aren't going to slow down. Other people aren't looking for what's going on, and this guy continuing to drive recklessly. So that's going to be a problem. Obviously, we're in the area of Downey right now. We can all read that sign together. Driving back over a gore point, using that gore point, that just working his way through there. Got some trees up ahead, so I'm kind of wondering what he's going to do. But this guy, he's got to understand helicopters overhead. And it's just going to continue on.
That's a big change in the attitude of law enforcement in just the past several years, where they will pull back a little bit and give a lot of breathing room, and that's just because we've seen such a high number of crashes involved in pursuits, and it just becomes the ante is way too high to be able to keep chasing these guys if they're willing to put the public in danger.
And by now they've run the plate. They know who may be behind the wheel here, so they know where they would go to next if they don't catch up with them at the end of this pursuit.
Stu, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that. We're doing a little talk about how much fuel. Looks like we got about 30 minutes left here to follow this crazy guy. We're on Firestone, back into Downey area. This guy actually ramping up his nuttiness. That's Woodruff right there. Just made another turn. Sheriff's Department are going to start getting involved. The helicopter that was overhead, that was calling out this pursuit for the longest time, they are bingo on fuel. They need to go out. So they're handing it off to the Sheriff's Department. I'm going to start doing a little radio magic up here so we can keep following along on the ground. I think the Sheriff's Department may be picking this up because this guy is just driving so recklessly. We're continuing on Woodruff, and you can see running red lights, running stop signs, very tight roads, and this guy actually driving more nutty. He's almost basically saying, hey guys, come on, and just keep up with me, but they're not. They're not going to take those chances, but this guy is. He's got two other people inside that car. You got to think that he's got to have some concern for their lives, but then you have to think about that innocent person that might get stuck in all of this. Woodruff winding around out here. You can see this guy making these wild turns. They do a quick wide shot, just giving you an idea that this is a very tiny road, edged on a residential area. And look at this guy making these passing moves. That's a solid yellow. Somebody could be coming the other way. There's a little bit of room, but you know what? What if he's changing the radio? Very
Absolutely.
dangerous situation for sure.
And this time of day here at 4:23, sun setting. Anybody who's tried to drive around Southern California with that sun right in your face, you don't see this coming. You've got people. I've seen them cross, just blow past a lot of crosswalks that are not marked necessarily, and it just poses such a huge problem and danger.
Yeah, and it seems like he's speeding up.
Yeah.
Now that they
Stu pointed out
pulled back a little bit,
his
the guy's
craziness
getting
has gotten
faster,
crazier.
amping up the crazy.
With the police officers having pulled back a bit.
But they're still keeping a very close eye on all of this. You're watching KCAL
Yeah, they
9.
are definitely. Oh, sorry about that. No, go ahead, do the ID for sure.
Oh, so fast.
Well, Stu, we just wanted to remind our viewers they're watching KCAL 9 News at 4. We're also welcoming in our CBS 2 News viewers. They're joining us as well for this coverage. A pursuit that started more than an hour ago in the Laguna Beach area has now gone into the cities of Santa Ana, Irvine, the city of Orange, Norwalk, and Downey. What police are pursuing and sheriff deputies are pursuing are 3 male theft suspects that were spotted in the Laguna Beach area leaving. Someone called it in as a suspicious vehicle, and as you see here on your right-hand side, that is when sheriff deputies just moments ago tried to do a pit maneuver, but apparently the sheriff's deputy cars, as Stu was saying, went off-road, and then he continued to be chased by other units.
Yeah, I lost count, but it seems like they've tried to pit maneuver at least
several
5 or 6 times, getting really close. The strategy now is they've pulled back a little bit because they want to make sure that the public is safe, because it has gotten more dangerous. And Stu, just before you told us that they were going to pull back and make this officially a following instead of a pursuit, I noticed that the driver was waving his arm out the window, indicating that perhaps he's trying to tell those deputies something.
I can only wonder what this guy is doing. I can tell you, Sheriff's Department not liking what they're seeing overhead. He was on Harrington out here. That was the name of the street. He just transitioned onto another road, a residential area for sure. And they are trying to get officers deputies to get their way into the pursuit back again. Sheriff's Department following it out, definitely down there on the ground. There's another airship overhead. I believe it's another one from Orange County. This is a big, wide horseshoe-shaped road. He's going to make a big sweeping turn and bring himself back out onto a road. I'm looking, looking out ahead, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't see any black and whites. That's what I'm trying to do out there. The Sheriff's Department, though, the helicopter, he is working furiously, calling out these streets, calling out officers, trying to get the deputies in the area. That turn that he just made is bringing him into a parking lot. There you go. He's kind of stuck. This is the thing. If officers would have been there, that would have been a good spot to bring this to an end. Right now, though, he's got pretty much free reign. That's going to be the 5 freeway right there that he's paralleling. Small residential street. No officers in the area right now. Helicopter overhead calling it out. Now I'm starting to see some black and whites. Sheriff's Department working their way into the neighborhood, but they're blocks away down there. So this is going to continue on out here. That car slowing down a little bit, which is the first positive sign that I've seen from that car since this thing continued. Now they do have 2 helicopters overhead, keeping an eye on it. Sheriff's Department really calling it out right now. The streets that he's on, it's going to come to an end here in a second, and he's going to have to make a turn. There it is. That's going to put him back out onto a major, and this might actually bring him right to where the sheriff's deputies are. We're going to see what happens out here, but definitely the Norwalk Pico Sheriff's Department, they are going to be joining this pursuit, or at least getting in the area as that helicopter getting keeping an eye on it, calling out these intersections, but we don't see any of those black and whites in the area as of yet. I think our Sheriff's Department might be a little bit more aggressive on bringing this to an end, seeing how he's done so many horrendous moves earlier on, especially when they basically backed off, and this car continues to drive quicker and do more dangerous maneuvers out here as we continue out here, I believe, in the Downey area, and you can see people out there on the streets probably oblivious to what's going on, but
right,
this
Stu,
car continues to elude officers.
Stu, can you hear us? We're going to continue with your coverage. Excellent live shots from Sky 9 and Sky 2 right now, but first we want to show you some pictures, and these are from the OC Register. Yeah, they got pretty good
Wow, that's
pictures.
really good.
You can see the driver, apparently 2 other people in the vehicle with him. Again, these pictures from the OC Register. These are suspects in the pursuit right now. They were originally wanted for mail theft in the Nellie Gale neighborhood of Laguna Hills. Apparently somebody saw them, witnessed them stealing mail, and they reported it, and the pursuit took off from there. Again, started in Laguna, went through Irvine, Tustin, Santa Ana, Orange, Anaheim, Buena Park, and now in the Downey area. It's this silver car you're seeing right here. Very dangerous at times, although it looks like the road's wide open now. He's been driving the wrong way on the side of the road and going over the median, driving on the median, up over curbs, and just blasting through red lights.
And as we saw earlier, the investigators right here, police, sheriff deputies, tried to do a pit maneuver, and that you see there, he just got close, but couldn't do it there, and the pursuit continues here. Your live picture now from Sky 9, Sky 2.
And you're not seeing any officers behind this suspect right now because the officers felt that as they were trying to do that pit maneuver several times that it was just too dangerous. There were too many cars on the street, too many people walking, so they pulled back, and now they are in a tracking mode right now where you have that airship overhead, the handoff between LA County and Orange County sheriffs and CHP all have helicopters that are in the hunt and in the game here, and they are on top of this and watching this suspect move through these streets now in the Downey area.
And Stu Mandel overhead in Sky 9. Stu, we talked about the danger of when this finally does come to an end because we've got 3 people in that vehicle, and it appears that at least we know what they look like now.
You know, I wasn't privy to that shot. I'd like to see it myself. Go through a gas station out here. You can see the sheriff's department re-engaging that pursuit right there, and they are right behind him. This guy really kind of, you know, of all the luck he had, this is probably the worst right there. There we go. Doors are open. 1, 2, and 3 people running. It seems to be 1 female, and then this guy right here changing his mind back and forth. Don't know what he's doing right there, but it does look very dangerous as he looks like he took something out of his pocket. Now, that could just be a cell phone, but this gives you an idea what officers have to deal with. Now that
hands up, get on the ground, and
hands up, Downey. There you
seems
go.
To me wearing a bright red outfit when you're trying to get away from officers probably not the best idea, Stu.
And he did not waste any time either, huh? Went right to the ground. Once officers told him to get down to ground, he did it.
You know, you think that's enough right there.
So we've got 2 other suspects that these officers need to be worried about. These 2 will focus on this suspect, but there were 2 other people in that vehicle, and we saw at least one of them pop out. Stu, any idea if those 2 are in custody?
We understand, you know, that's the driver. That's the one that they definitely want. We're going to keep listening here. Now we know that it is definitely Downey PD. That's working. The sheriff's department definitely helping them out. You know, this coming to an end. That guy running out, and then, of course, you know, it is so amazing to me how they just kind of give up so quickly when they realize that it's over. It looks like this is the spot where that second person went into custody. I believe that that's going to be the other male that got out of the back passenger side, and then obviously there was that female that was also in there, but I don't know where that I'm sorry, that's going to be the female, so that's going to be the passenger. So we have 1 person outstanding right now, as I understand it, and this is coming to an end out here in the Downey area. We'll get you those cross streets in just a moment, but, you know, gosh, you saw how quickly that came to an end, and you're right, a red outfit, that's not what you want to wear when you're being chased by anybody, but look at that. You're just standing there talking to the officers. Yeah, hey, what's going on? You know, this is the type of mentality that you know, that these suspects, you know, they don't realize that the amount of danger and the amount of trouble that they're in after all that craziness, all those dangerous risks that they've been taking all afternoon.
And by the way, the technique worked. Going into tracking mode, letting them just run out of steam and paint themselves into a corner, quite literally. It worked. Nobody was hurt. They've got at least 2 suspects in custody right now. Hopefully getting that third. I'm sure they've got a beat on where that third suspect is. So it was one of those situations where it was that was a good plan. Slow it down. Let them paint themselves in a corner. Let them put themselves into trouble.
And my guess is they didn't realize when they came around that corner that they would hit a dead end, right? They probably thought there was another way out of that shopping center.
Obviously they didn't know, and it's finally luck went against them. We watched this guy running red lights, running all kinds of doing all kinds of nutty things all afternoon. Always seemed to have that little out, but right now this one coming to an end out here as he basically backs himself in, getting out foot bail. You can see where one of the suspects was taken into custody there. We saw that female also running right over here. She was taken into custody there, and we're working now for seeing if they got one other one outstanding.
All right, Stu Mundell live overhead in Sky 9. The end of a pursuit. At least 2 suspects in custody after a very dangerous pursuit through Orange County and into LA County. Right now, we're going to go live.
Stolen vehicle with a window shot out. They've been pursuing this vehicle now for the better part of about 15 minutes. Southbound in the cornfield here, right by Harlem Avenue, heading towards US 30. This pursuit's gone about 40, 50 miles per hour. Several officers are joining in here, so we're about a mile west of I-57. This vehicle is heading southbound. These are side streets, people, with about 20 to 30 mile an hour. Now we're going south on Ridgeland here. And this is a pursuit. They'll be heading towards US 30. So if you are a south suburban commuter, you normally head near US 30 in Ridgeland. Use a lot of caution. This vehicle is picking up speed here. That window is shot out. They're looking for a suspect who stole a vehicle and now heading southbound on Ridgeland Avenue, south US 30.
Okay, Mike.
So, Kai, this is going to keep going.
Mike, we're here. We're watching this with you right now. And so what we're wondering is, when did you first pick this up? What was happening?
Well, the Illinois State Police have a network where they put out basically where they're looking for vehicles that are on the go. Now, about 15 minutes ago, you saw us that accident at Volmer Road. We picked up that they were looking for this vehicle. The Chicago district of the state police found this vehicle, and we picked it up a few minutes later. Now it's traveling about 60, 70 miles per hour southbound on Ridgeland Avenue. It left US 30 a few minutes ago. There were about 5 officers in high-speed pursuit about to hit the intersection of Sauk Trail, and this could get dangerous, narrowly missing an accident there. The vehicle keeps going southbound on Ridgeland. Now, the further south you get in this area, south of Ridgeland Avenue, south of Sauk Trail, this gets wide open, people, and you're going to be dealing with a vehicle that's going to be at a very high speed. The officers now are about a good quarter mile behind them. So we're traveling southbound on Ridgeland Avenue. We just crossed Sauk Trail Road. Yes,
Mike,
I'm listening.
It looks like there's only one person in that vehicle. Can you tell if there's anybody else inside that vehicle?
The way they have described this in the search, there is one person. You can see the driver's side window is actually shot out. One person who stole this vehicle that they're searching for. So from what they've described, and again, this is just from the scanner traffic, what's called the ISPERN, Illinois State Police Emergency Response Network, they've only described one person, the driver, the suspect that they are looking for that stole this vehicle that is now southbound on Ridgeland. We're coming up on another interchange here pretty soon, and I-57 is very, very close to this. We're about a half a mile west 57, so there's a chance that this vehicle could take it to the expressway. They continue, though, south on I-57, well south of Sauk Trail Road. So we're going to be heading down to the Bradley-Bourbonnais area pretty soon.
I know that you're on a really, really close shot there, and you're talking about the police that are behind them. Can we look at a little bit wider shot
are they keeping
so that
the pressure
we can
on?
Get a better perspective of that? That would be great, and maybe also see what's in front of that vehicle, which it looks like no one, luckily, as he's making this chase.
We don't want to lose the vehicle, and the police, unfortunately, they've been trying to chase this vehicle. It's really picked up speed here, southbound on Ridgeland, heading towards I-57. And as we look out the window, there really aren't any police within about a good half a mile of this vehicle. They're communicating with each other.
How fast do you think that guy's going, Mike?
Based on how fast we're going right now, I would say about 80 to 90 miles an hour. There's another interchange here near the Crete-Moni Road and I-57. He's about to come up. There's a semi in front of this. Again, caution for people who are watching here. This can result in an accident pretty quickly. Now he crosses Crete-Moni Road, try to turn. Oh, and there's the accident. All right, so here's the accident. I believe we're at Crete-Moni Road. the vehicle involved in the accident. Now you've got the person who was in the vehicle. This is the suspect that they were looking for,
and his hands
heading
on his belt
eastbound
there, so we got to be careful
towards
with the camera
I-57.
We got to be careful with the camera shot here because, okay, he's taking his sweatshirt off, running through a field. We
trying to
just
get the
watched
sweatshirt up.
That car crash. It tried to make the turn there at the intersection. It looked like the one person who was in that car bailed and is now running.
I think you made a really good point, Stefan, here. He keeps on holding on to something right around his waist. We're not sure what that is. And Mike, how far are police from this guy right here?
The police are coming in right now. The police are coming in right now. We don't want to lose the shot of this person, and hopefully now it's into basically you can see a field with a lot of trees. We are near the expressway. We're just west of I-57 here by Crete Moni Road. We're not sure if this person is injured. Now it looks like he may be exhausted, and yeah, the suspect may have been injured, and person on the ground. It looks like the pursuit has come to an end here.
Wow.
Again, we've got state troopers, and we got a lot of folks. This started in the Country Club Hills area and has come to an end here. We're near Crete Moni Road. We are just west of I-57. This pursuit has come to an end. And again, another dangerous situation. We saw this on the west side last year. No accidents involved, fortunately, and no serious injuries as the arrest is made here on Crete Moni Road. We are just west of I-57.
Mike, we really appreciate you staying on this. This has been just remarkable to watch happen live here on television. If you could just recap one more time before we go to break here exactly where this started and how it ended here.
Sounds like it started just west of I-57 near Volmer Road. We were covering an accident there, and again, we heard that ISBRN alert that they put out to all of the local officers here to pursue that vehicle. Willow is located about a half a mile west of 57 in Volmer. They said the car was driving erratically. They were looking for a suspect who had stole the vehicle in a black Chevy. They picked up that vehicle driving, and then once that vehicle got south on Ridgeland, hit about 80, 90 miles an hour, heading all the way south from the area of about 183rd, must have gone a good 5 miles down here near the Crete Moni area, tried to go left to get onto I-57, and fortunately that vehicle involved in an accident, and even though the person is still walking, came very close to getting to I-57, ended here in the field. Police were able to get the suspect in custody. Crete Moni Road, we are just west of Interstate 57.
That was just an incredible moment there. It was really great to see at the end how he gave up and he got on the ground so police could come in and arrest him.
It looked like they were so far behind.
Yeah.
The concern was whether or not officers were going to be there close enough to make that arrest. But you can see officers with the Madison Police Department surrounding that wooded area right there, that area of trees, which we saw the person from the car, that black Monte Carlo, trying to make that left turn at the intersection. And what you estimated, Mike, around 80 miles an hour, clearly didn't make it. The car went right off the side of the road and into a ditch.
No, I'm guessing since I-57 was so close, maybe that was the plan. And once that car would have gotten south on I-57, it could have been really dangerous. And again, we saw it try to make that left turn from Ridgeland to go to Crete Moni, possibly to I-57, and going at that high rate of speed, at least 80, 90 miles an hour. Wasn't able to do that. The accident ensued, went into the field, and that's when the person they were chasing decided to get out of that vehicle, run through the field, may have been injured from the accident, and basically just ran out of breath. Fortunately, gave himself up, and nobody else was seriously injured in a situation that could have been very dangerous, not only for the police, but for anybody who was driving in the area.
Well, a lot of misses there also, as we were watching you there in Sky 5, as he was blowing through all of those lights and all of the oncoming traffic. I mean, it's just a miracle that a major accident wasn't caused there.
Peaceful resolution.
Really was, Zoraida. We saw, especially when he was coming south towards Sauk Trail Road, there was a semi crossing east and westbound.
Wow.
Luckily, this is kind of an open area with fields where people can see the traffic coming from the other direction. That semi able to see the vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed southbound, so was able to pull up, and that vehicle and the police able to get through southbound on Ridgeland. And again, ending with the person in custody here, and it looks like no serious injury. Very, very fortunate situation given how a high rate of speed this chase was.
Mike, we are so lucky to have you watching from Sky 5. Thank you so much for that. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor the story, the developments, the backstory to all of this, and bring that to you in all of our news updates.